Welcome to the I Am One podcast. On today's episode, we're sitting down with Deb Flashenberg, a certified doula, childbirth educator, founder of the Prenatal Yoga Center in New York City, and host of the Yoga Birth Babies podcast. Hey, we'll chat about how her own postpartum experience, including some physical and emotional challenges after childbirth, shaped the way she teaches and supports others today. We'll talk yoga, perinatal mental health, community, informed consent, pelvic health, and radical self-care. So without any further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode with our friend, Deb. Deb, welcome to the podcast studio. We are so thrilled to be spending some time this afternoon with you. We are just so thrilled that you're here, so thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I am so excited.
Let's dig in.
Oh, dun, dun, dun. Emily, are you ready?
Deb, can you introduce yourself to our guests? Name, pronouns, favorite pizza topping. What do we need to know about you?
Astrological sign, social security number. Just joking. Let's get personal.
I'm very proud of my astrological sign.
Okay. I got a pen.
Okay, so Deb Flashenberg, I am a Scorpio.
Oh.
I know. My birthday is actually, I don't know when this is going to come out, but my birthday is next Friday, which is Halloween.
Oh, you're a Halloween
I'm
baby.
a Halloween baby. And I feel like Scorpios are misunderstood. So I just want to express we are not the evil people think we are. So
as a Gemini, I get that.
okay. Oh. Yeah, I get that too. So yeah, proud Scorpio.
I'm an Aquarius. I don't understand.
My husband's an Aquarius.
We'll get along just fine. Okay.
All right. So what else about me? So I'm the founder and director of Prenatal Yoga Center in New York City. I feel like, and my pronouns are she, her, and what I feel like I have a lot of hats.
Oh.
So I run PYC, but I also do our teacher training, and I was a doula for over 10 years. I'm a Lamaze childbirth educator, spinning babies educator. I've done so many different certifications, pelvic floor certifications, obviously yoga teacher. But I love learning. It's so weird that my kids will say, like, I hate doing homework. I'm like, I love doing homework.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the more I learn, the more curious I get. And then the more I can bring to my classes and my studios. So that makes me really excited.
Do you find that you are drawn to like this particular type of learning and work? Like Lamaze, childbirth, pelvic floor, these are all very like birth and the confluence of transitioning into parenting, like, or...
It's actually the physical. And so I started off as a singer-dancer and I got into yoga that way. And what I found fascinating about birth, and I still do, it's about the physicality of it. And honestly, it's going to sound so geeky, the biomechanics of pregnancy and birth fascinate me. I mean, I studied the method, the body ready method, which I'd already known a lot of the principles of because of spinning babies and just working with PTs and my own body and my own curiosity after, especially my first really challenging birth. But I think it's how we move our body can impact how we birth. And then that can impact postpartum and healing. So the physicality and also the mental part. I think being a background in performing arts, it's mental as much as physical. Like there's a certain amount of endurance you have to have and dedication and just discipline. And I love bringing that into the yoga practice, but then in the preparation for pregnancy, birth, and postpartum.
Very cool.
Yeah, I love getting nerdy. So we're down with wherever this goes today, Deb.
You just sort of touched on it a little bit in your intro. Can you tell us a little bit more about how perinatal mental health disorders have come into your life personally, professionally?
Yeah, so I personally haven't experienced PMADs.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, if anything, I tend to be more on the anxious side, but it didn't really impact my own postpartum. I mean, the thing that actually impacted my own postpartum, I guess we could say it was anxiety. I had a really challenging physical healing from my first birth. In hindsight, I can look back that there was a lot of anxiety around feeling like my body was trashed.
Oh, wow. Relatable. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I remember running into a colleague maybe a few weeks after, like, pushing the stroller. And she's like, how are you? I'm like, I feel like my pelvic floor is hanging down to my ankles. And she just looked at me like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that answer.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like you were so aware of your body.
I was so aware. And it was just so challenging. And as I mentioned before, like structure and discipline and routine, I can do that. Background, in performing arts, I can do that. And I took that into my healing process because when my PT said, you have to do pelvic floor work twice a day, I'm like, absolutely. Looking back, I'm like, oh, I kind of took it to the extreme. So I would do it during the day because she said twice a day. I'm like, okay. And then I had this crazy routine that my son would often get up like 3 a.m. for, feeding. It's, he was a few weeks old. I'd put him down and then I would do my PT work at like 3 a.m. So I'm like, well, she told me I have to do it twice. Well, I'm going to do it twice. So a little crazy.
Could have been sleeping.
She was awake. She was like, I'm here. My body's here.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm here. I'm supposed to do it. And if I don't do it now, I'm going to have to find another time during the day.
Which is stressful. Yeah.
So that could have been a little bit of anxiety, but I don't know if it was technically perinatal mood anxiety or just stress of like, I feel horrible physically. I have really bad pelvic floor issues and diastasis. On a professional level, I do see this with my students.
Yes.
So I started the studio 23 years ago. And as we all know, the whole experience of understanding PMADS has adjusted. When I first started, it was just called postpartum depression. So I didn't even know that anxiety and OCD were part of that.
Or birth trauma.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, that's another topic. I mean,
that's a whole other podcast episode.
I still remember seeing a student who was just afraid to touch her baby without washing her hands. In fact, I saw that yesterday in postnatal class too.
Oh.
She like wouldn't touch her baby, like constantly doing, like the Purell and wouldn't let anyone else touch. And every time she changed the diaper like 5 times in half an hour.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like, hello, OCD. Welcome to the party.
And I didn't know that at the time because I didn't know that was something to look out for. But now I do see it and recognize it. And it's not my place because I'm not a therapist. So I don't obviously diagnose, but I do check in with students a fair amount just to see how they're doing. We have a support group at the studio. So I often just say like, is that something you'd be interested in? So I do see it within my field and I do understand that, anxiety.
That's really a great opportunity for students that are coming in for a yoga class, for example, to know that there's another thing that they can do to help themselves by connecting with peers. Peer support is where it's at. So that's really cool. You provide that too.
Yeah, one of the things that we wanted to make sure we did was not just do yoga, but really attend to the whole person. And I feel like there's such a shift during pregnancy. Everyone's focused on the pregnant person. And then all of a sudden they have their baby and everyone's focused on the baby. And often the new parent is kind of left hanging in the wind and not usually getting as much attention as I think they should. So we really try to look at the whole person and see the whole person and not just the new baby.
I would love to hear a little bit about your birth experience, whatever parts of that you want to share, what you learned from it.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy to talk about that.
I think your takeaways are really valuable. So tell us you were pregnant once upon a time. What happened next?
I had a baby. All right. So let's back it up. So I will start by saying my son is 14 and my daughter's 11.
Okay.
We talk about birth trauma, and I feel like it's not that I had a traumatic birth. I feel like my body had more of a traumatic birth than my brain.
Oh.
Let me explain that a little.
Yeah.
I think it's because I did a home birth, and I had a midwife, and I had a doula, and the doula happened to be my mentor because I was a doula at that time too. And I think had I been in a different setting, it might have been more traumatizing because they gave me a lot of space. I never felt pressure. I never felt they'd be like, oh, we're going on hour 30. I got to get things moving. Like, so it was a long birth. The whole thing altogether was about 42 hours.
Oh.
That's more than a marathon.
It was really, really long and it was challenging. So it was in hindsight again, and actually during, because I'd done over 100 births at that point and I was a childbirth educator. So I'm like, all right, I know what labor typically can look like. I know that there are times that it's longer and shorter, but I knew something was a little off. And I was really nervous that he was in some sort of odd position. We knew his spine was forward, but I kept thinking his head is asynclitic. So like the ear was towards the shoulder and his head was asynclitic. And
Rude.
how rude of him.
Yeah.
Just making things hard.
Yeah.
And he still does. And so
It's okay. That's just between us and I don't know, whoever sees it all over the internet, but it's fine.
love him. But anyway, so
All good things. All good things.
it was 5 hours of pushing. And so we talked about my pelvic floor being a hot mess. I mean, I pushed in every possible way. I end up with diastasis, and you can imagine all that strain and pushing.
Can you define diastasis?
Oh, sure. So there's already a separation of the rectus abdominis, kind of your six pack. And then you have this connective tissue inside.
That's like the fascia and stuff,
The
right?
fascia, yeah. So you have that fascia, it's called the linea alba. And from a lot of excess force forward, then you can start to thin and it can lose some of the elasticity. And I was also technically an older mom. I was 37 at the time. So collagen's changing, genetics. So that can also be part of diastasis. But with all that forceful pushing, that worsened diastasis and also put a lot of strain on my already tight pelvic floor. Because remember, I was a dancer, I was a yogi. And also a very, very flexible body. And those with the flexible body tend to have more tension in the pelvic floor because the body may have such laxity and not necessarily strong glutes and hamstrings that the pelvic floor is like, oh, I guess I better pick up the slack. And
Like I'm holding this all together.
yeah, I think if it's like my role in the house, like the mom, I'm like, I'm holding it all together. That's like my pelvic floor. I'm holding it all together.
Or like the pelvic floor of the family. I don't know. Never mind. This is so weird.
I like that.
Halloween costume idea. We're just holding it all together. I'm a pelvic. Anyway, never mind. All right.
And I also did a ton of cycling. I love being on a bike. I love being on an outdoor bike. I love being on a spin bike. So also my psoas was super, super tight.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
When you look at the whole picture, you're like, of course it was a really hard birth. And as much as it was physically traumatic for my body, like I will say my pelvic floor is like 95% back to where it was. There's still about 5% that's a little cranky at times.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I worked really, really hard on that. But it gave me a lot to try to unpack. And not just for myself, but I thought, here I was already teaching prenatal yoga. I've had this student at that point for like 9.5 years. And if I had such a challenging birth, I got to look back at what I'm doing and what's going on. So I worked with a PT for rehab and then also just looking at like, what happened? Why didn't anybody, my midwife, my doula, nobody was like, Deb, get off the spin bike. Why don't you do some PT? It wasn't as talked about back then.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to understand what happened. And so that really changed how I taught yoga. I wanted to look at, we need to make sure we're not just tightening things. We need to make sure things are balanced. The pelvic floor is springy. The psoas is supple. The pelvis is well balanced. So for the good, it changed how I taught, and which then means thousands of yoga students from my studio have had that gift. I wish I didn't have to necessarily go through it as much first person, but I did. But
Sometimes we learn best by doing, though. So there is that, you know?
But it really changed the trajectory. And I was already into physicality and movement and anatomy, but it made me dive even more into understanding. And so in hindsight, it was a gift because it propelled me into understanding and I'm hoping better supporting folks. And the rehab in itself, again, it was challenging, but it also was kind of exciting to then learn and watch and then impart that. Now I have to say, fast forward to baby number 2, I did everything so differently. I remember being like 6 weeks pregnant. I was already like laying on my side. My husband's like, you could be on your back. I'm like, I'm setting everything up as best as possible. Like I didn't get on a spin bike that whole time. Actually, I was riding a bicycle in like December in New York City and I was like 7 months pregnant and he took it away. He's like, this is not appropriate. Like I was riding in like the snow. He's like, let's not do that. All right, so it's on a regular bike, but
Okay.
probably not the smartest.
Biking, because you're going somewhere, is very different from biking in a spin class. Like the
True.
objective is, you're not like, okay, we're standing for the next couple.
Yeah.
You're just like going to the grocery store or whatever.
I was going from my apartment down, Riverside Drive to my yoga studio on the Upper West Side. So yes, with traffic and ice.
Yeah.
I think he might have had the best intentions. But I approached the birth so differently. I really thought about, okay, what's going on with my body? What's going on with my pelvis, my pelvic floor? And we know statistically second births are quicker, but 6 minutes of pushing, like 6 minutes of pushing.
Okay, Deb, we're going to have to bleep that out because people might get angry. There might be a riot on the internet if people hear that.
That's good stuff.
I mean, to be fair, 42 hours for baby number 1 plus 5.
That's including the 5 hours, yeah.
Including 5 hours of pushing. We'll give you the 6 minutes. Like, whatever.
Well earned.
Yeah. And I think her whole birth, like I started to feel it in the morning, but I was like really in contractions, maybe like 1:32. And then she was born a little after 6. Like,
yeah,
I worked for that. Like I worked for that.
Well, we love that for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so both times, though, you did sort of have a fitness mindset. Like you were thinking about like, how am I staying healthy? How am I keeping myself moving? But like there was a huge difference in the types of movement that you were doing. And that was to keep the psoas from tightening.
Supple, I believe, is what she said. Supple.
No, pelvic floor.
No, supple psoas. I wrote it down.
Oh, supple psoas.
Balanced body, supple psoas.
That is totally right. Supple psoas, responsive pelvic floor. I think of the pelvic floor kind of like a trampoline. And I also worked with a PT because I have a lot of hypermobility. So I wanted to make sure my pelvis was in better alignment than the first time where my SI joint was kind of a hot mess the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're in like an up push-up position and you lock your elbows, I know you don't ever lock your elbows because that's like a yoga no-no. But
Okay.
if you were to lock your elbows, do they hyperextend?
Yeah. I mean, like everything hyperextends, like even the thumbs, you see people like those weird thumbs, like
it's like pointing backwards? Yeah.
and like my knees and my elbow. Yeah. Very, very flexible, which it was funny because everyone thought that was such a good thing. And then as I learned more about the body, I'm like, those are the people that tend to have a lot of aches and pains and also really tight pelvic floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. For everybody listening, Deb's not even holding her head up straight. No, I'm just kidding.
Am I not? I might not be. I'm like, is my head tilted?
I'm joking.
It's asynclitic, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little asynclitic. There we go.
It's fine. Okay, so this second baby, really, when you average it out, you just had an average birth. That's what you had.
No, let her have it. Let her have it. Anyway, I love how the experience that you had like really has informed the way that the yoga center has provided like a range of types of supports for folks that come in. It's not just a yoga class.
No.
Like, you know that taking care of your body and like doing what you can to be conscious of like all the areas that are affected by being pregnant and postpartum are taken care of, but also you're providing space for, other kinds of connections and resources and stuff. And we love that. And you know what else we haven't mentioned, Deb?
Yes.
For all of our listeners, Deb is a seasoned podcaster. So you also have tons of episodes where you cover all kinds of topics
related to this period of time.
You started in 2016 or?
I think so. I was still living in the city and I'd been out here for, oh my goodness, maybe almost 10 years.
Still in New York? We do not need to talk about where you live.
Oh, yeah, I live in New Jersey. I don't care. And
Okay.
I remember my first couple podcasts, like we knew nothing about, like what's the little pop screen or whatever. Like we put a microphone on a bed and like two of us were like speaking probably too far away. Like it was kind of a hot mess. But yeah, I started it. Actually, my friend Lily was like, you should do a podcast. I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Huh?
But I do that and I love it because as we talked about, I love learning and I take childbirth education into so much of the yoga classes. But again, this gives me an opportunity to just have a conversation, like an interesting conversation. And usually I pick topics that I'm really interested in learning about because I want to learn about them and then I can share it. So yeah, podcasting has been really fun. We have over 400 episodes.
Yeah, I looked you up on the internet and I was very impressed. I was like scrolling through. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
We should ask Deb for hot tips on podcasting.
Okay. I think we have a sense of like how you sought help after the birth because you knew that your body didn't feel right.
Well, I was peeing myself. That was a very
relatable.
And I'd say that, and it's funny I say that on a podcast, but I say it because I want people to know it happens and I don't want it to be normalized. It happens. It's common, but people should seek help. This came up in conversation with a student yesterday where she's like, I'm peeing myself. I'm like, I did too. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
She's like, my doctor just said that's so normal because I had a baby. I said, it's common, but it's not normal. So let's talk about your next steps.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like there are options for where to go from here.
And it also, I just remember, and I can relate to the students that I still see in class, that it can really feel like it's dampening your enjoyment of postpartum. At least it did for me.
Yeah.
I felt like my life was not quite what I thought it would be because I ended up with pelvic organ prolapse. So I had to see a urogynecologist and deal with that. And it really affected the kind of like the life quality.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you were a runner or a jogger before.
Which I never would. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was in, my early life, but then I just remember asking my doctor, am I like ever going to be able to run like past 1.25 miles without needing to have, a pad in my underwear? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I ever going to be able to jump on a trampoline or are my kids always going to make fun of me? Tell me it gets better. I didn't even know that there were pelvic floor physical therapists or there were things to do to help my body. So I love that you're having these conversations.
I want people to know they have options. And then also, even though I had been working with the perinatal community for almost 10 years at that point, I was a little surprised how hard it was to recover, not just because of my pelvic floor issues. Again, I knew mentally because I saw people with their babies and I saw the strain, but it gave me a different compassion to understand like the back pain and the neck pain and just the overwhelm. And so we try to also address that in our classes, just hold space that it is a really challenging period. It's not like a bounce back situation that we sometimes see in social media.
That's like a total fallacy. Like you are becoming a new version of yourself. You're not bouncing back to pre-baby.
That doesn't exist anymore is really what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really doesn't. And like identity change and relationship change, there's just so much happening. It's such a kind of like a mud pit. Like it's just so deep and kind of messy and dirty.
Exactly. Okay. So how did you find out about PSI in the course of all of this? How did we
connect?
Were you in the mud pit with you? What's happening?
No, because my kids are 14 and 11. So, Dr. Jessica Vernon.
Hey.
I know, love her. So the funny thing was, I'm kind of a jerk. She tried to reach out to me.
You're not a jerk. Stop. Okay, we're debunking it. It's official. Deb Flashenberg is not a jerk.
All right, so she reached out to me about 3 years ago to connect. And I somehow ignored that or didn't see it.
Or you were busy? Like
maybe life happened.
So then I saw her. I've been doing some workshops with ULA where I'll do like some online classes. And then I happened to see she was part of a panel discussion and I liked what she was talking about. So I looked her up and I'm like, I like this person. And
she's lovely.
Yeah. And I looked at her social media and I'm like, oh, I agree. I like her. Then I looked, she had a book. And so I reached out to her to see if she'd want to be on my podcast. And she's like, oh, I reached out 2 years ago. And so I looked it up. I'm like, you did.
Thought you didn't want to talk to me. This is embarrassing.
And so then she and I connected and what was so nice is, especially because she is an OBGYN, she's like, I love what you do at Prenatal Yoga Center. I support it. I'm like, oh, can I get that like in writing somewhere? Doctor approved. And so then she came on.
It feels good to know. Yeah.
Very good. So she came on to do a podcast and then we just hit it off really well. Like I just like talking to her. So then I asked her, because this is a topic that probably no one else interested except me. I wanted to do another podcast about the umbilical cord and the placenta because I thought that was interesting.
Like an episode or a whole podcast?
Just an episode.
Okay.
About the placenta because we talk, it comes up in class, placenta previa or partial previa or cord anomalies. I just think that's really interesting.
Let's deep dive.
Deep dive and let's
do it.
Years ago, I wrote this blog about the cord around the neck, nuchal cord. And, interesting, like a third of babies are born with that. My daughter was born with that. And it happens, most of the time it's totally fine. Every now and then it can be a problem. And then I talked about this in class recently. We're not breathing through our mouths yet in utero. It's through the umbilical cord. So what happens if it should be overly tight is it can compress. It's so rare.
And that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I got a lot of hate mail for that one blog. And so I'm like, Jessica, let's talk about it. She's like, let's talk about it. So we talked about that.
So is that an episode on your podcast?
Yeah. Comes out in a couple weeks.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm going to write a note here so that we can drop a link in the show notes.
I have another one I have to throw her way. I want to do one on shoulder dystocia.
Oh, Jessica, call Deb.
Jessica. And then she was so nice because she had said, oh, why don't we, get together and maybe do a presentation at a conference. I'm like, oh, let's do that. It just feels good. Like when you connect with somebody that you're like-minded, but have two different disciplines. Like I do not try to step into the role of the care provider. I know my scope. And yet I also offer something that she supports. So it's just nice to find really strong, wonderful collaboration. So that is how I know Jessica. And that is how I found you guys.
Deb, thank you for connecting all those dots for us. I think that is something that is important for all of us to do. We're advocating, we're supporting, whether we're connecting parents with each other, with resources, with providers, we're all, connecting those dots, and it's such important work. So
thank you.
Yeah. I love actually also like knowing how we all are interconnected. I mean, we wouldn't have known you if you hadn't ignored Jessica for 3. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm kidding. No. If you hadn't met, connected with Jessica, I don't know how long it would have taken us to get on each other's radar. So that's very cool.
Thank you.
I mean, we also know what you're already doing to support folks in the perinatal period because you've been doing it before you ever became a parent, which is not entirely an uncommon path, but it's definitely like different than the average.
Mm-hmm.
Were you like 5 and you were like, I want to work with pregnant people? Like, how did this become your...
I know the answer to this because I listened to the first episode of Deb's podcast.
Oh my gosh, is it still on?
No big deal. It's on the internet still. Yep. Can confirm.
I was not really the maternal type. I really, oh my gosh, I'm having things flood back. I had a doll named Amy that I used to cut her hair and like paint her face and leave her in the yard like overnight and in the rain. Like I was not the maternal person that like I know some kids like play with baby dolls and like, oh, I can't wait. I was not that person. I was kind of a tomboy. I had all boys in my neighborhood. I was like, why can't I have my shirt off too? Like,
and you're like, Amy the doll will be fine overnight.
In the rain.
There's a hurricane forecasted. She's gonna be fine. I'll get her tomorrow.
Because that was like, I was not a baby doll person. Like I was. And so like I hadn't even thought about kids. Like it just, it wasn't even on my radar. And then as I got into the world of prenatal yoga, which was really a back road to that too, because I was a yoga teacher. I was a dancer that became a yoga teacher. And I did this training. It's kind of my dirty yoga secret, Bikram yoga, because he's a little bit of controversy. He's not a nice man in my experience.
No John Friend, though. You want to talk about controversial yoga. That was the discipline that I was taught in originally. So
that also has some controversy around it. So folks, go ahead and look them up. Bikram Chowdhury, John Friend.
0 stars, don't recommend them.
No. And so I was doing Bikram, and it's like this script that you have to follow. And it didn't give any ability to look at your students and be like, hey, what's going on with everyone? What do you want to work on?
Like, how's your alignment even, right?
So what we do is a little bit kind of off the beaten path that a lot of folks, when they go to regular yoga, are surprised. So we start every class with circle time, not Bikram, Prenatal Yoga Center. And I'm going to ask everyone their name, how far along they are, their aches, pains, issues, requests. And I'm going to hear what people tell me. And on the spot, I'm going to create the class based on what they tell me, because that's what they're there for. In my opinion, I want to give them the class they're asking for. Like if they tell me my upper back, neck, shoulders are a hot mess, and I'm like, oh, I was going to work on squatting. Like that's not really...
I'm just thinking of, if someone were to go into therapy and there is something really pressing going on for them that week, and they weren't going to see their therapist for the next week or two, and they said, well, I really want to talk about those daddy issues this week, but really you need to talk about your 15-year-old who's a whole vibe and cramping your style, like telling people what they need. like not a good plan. So that's awesome. That's great.
So it's a very different style. So going back to Bikram, where you can't, like, you're supposed to follow this monologue. And I just was not loving it. And so I remember between classes, I was talking to some of the other teachers at the desk, and they're like, have you thought about prenatal yoga? I'm like, I have not. And I mentioned it to my mom, who did marketing at the time. And she was just like, absolutely. People spend money on their weddings and their pregnancy. And she's like, when they're pregnant, they're going to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
I was like 27. And I'm like, babies? What? If you're a performer, you're not pregnant usually. So I'm like, okay. And so I found a training and I went out and I just kind of started.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of fell into it. And then I fell into the passion of it, honestly, from one of my students. I don't remember when I did the podcast what I said, but this might be it, that it's probably highly illegal what she had me do.
Oh, I know.
So she told everyone I was a med student. She put me in scrubs and I participated in births. I helped deliver a placenta. My hands were gloved. She's like, put your hands here and just gently pull on the cord. I'm like, please don't pull on the cord.
We're not naming names.
We're not naming names or even the institution.
Nope. It might have not even happened. It might have just been a dream.
And so now I know, don't pull on the cord. Don't pull on the placenta.
Yeah.
Again, I'm like, in hindsight, I'm like, was there informed consent? And then I scrubbed in for a C-section. I saw a twin vaginal birth. They actually were taking names down and they were like, Dr. Flashenberg. I'm like, no, erase. I shouldn't be here.
And then you're like, actually, it does sound kind of nice. It has a ring to it.
So I saw this one birth that was just honestly traumatizing for the person giving birth and her partner and the baby. And it was from that I'm like, okay, again, I've had these moments of catapulting change. One of it was my own birth, but one of it was this, seeing how this person was treated in the hospital made me realize that up to that point, and this is maybe a year into me teaching prenatal yoga, I was just teaching modifications. I was not teaching the education and what informed consent meant and advocating for yourself. I was just teaching pregnancy modifications.
Right. You're like, we're going to do a forward fold, but you have to take your legs wider when you're right.
But I wasn't talking about you have options in birthing positions. Have you talked to your care provider about this? Or you don't have to have a student be involved. I just wasn't talking. We didn't talk about pushing positions and how to breathe, coping skills. And so that was just a huge, exciting change. And that's when I decided to become a doula. I literally left that day and I'm like, I will be a doula.
Well, this is my life now.
Yeah. I'm like, and now childbirth education. I'll go to the farm. I just piled it on.
Wait, you went to the farm, Ina May Gaskin's farm?
I went to the farm. I know.
I don't even know what I'm from out of town. Tell me about the farm. What? Went to the farm. Taking notes? Tell me more about the farm.
Oh, there's so much to tell. So there's a midwife, Ina May Gaskin. She's written multiple books. I think she started with spiritual midwifery. And then the second one after spiritual midwifery was, I think, Ina May's Guide to Childbirth. And I think she wrote a breastfeeding book. But she's this very hippy-dippy midwife that created a midwifery center in Tennessee, in the rural part of Tennessee, which I had never been to. I hadn't really been deep in the South. And so they were doing a midwifery assistant program. And I thought, sure,
cool.
Let's go do that.
I haven't learned about that yet. I'm going. You're a lifelong learner, Deb. It's okay.
So I went down to the farm and I did this midwifery assistant program. And it was really fascinating. And the funny thing was, a few days after I came back from that, I was on a birth. And it was a precipitous birth. And she was on her bathroom floor crowning. And I'm like, I know how to support the perineum.
For people who don't know, what is a precipitous birth?
A very, very fast birth. So under 3 hours. So between her calling me and me arriving was maybe half an hour. And at that point, her water had broken and she was on her bathroom floor. So we had called, EMT was on their way. She happened to live across the street from Lenox Hill Hospital.
But what was she going to do? Walk?
No. So it just was, it was kind of useful to have that information.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my story.
Wow.
Very cool.
Now I know about the farm.
Ina May Gaskin isn't perfect. I want to acknowledge she is also not a perfect human. Little opportunities for growth, please, and thank you.
I will say we actually took her book out of our teacher training curriculum because of opportunities for learning in some of the things that she has represented and stood for. That said, I also do think there's some really good learning opportunities in her book. Like, I do think there's value, but I do want to acknowledge, and thank you, Emily, for sharing that. I don't even know how involved she is in the farm anymore. This was 18 years ago I went down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I was looking at going to the farm. I had a baby that wouldn't flip, refused to just head towards the exit, you know? And I was like, I'm not having another C-section. And so I started looking at options. And this, this was like 15 years ago. So this was pre-challenging some of her stances and then her unwillingness to evolve. Because there's so many other folk. Like, there are other folks we can listen to, you know?
And I also want to mention, I thought, if I'm remembering correctly, you have a connection with Dona. Did you do some training with Dona?
I did.
We love Dona. We've got lots of friends there.
That's where my doula certification is through Dona.
Yeah.
I interviewed Penny Simpkins for my podcast. Oh my gosh, I was such a dork with her. I'm like, you're like my John Lennon. I think I literally said that to her.
Well, we didn't get that, but it's okay. It's totally fine. Whatever.
Well, she died. But
okay. Well, we're the new John Lennon. Hey.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Or not. Never mind. All right. Anyway, cool. So she was on your podcast.
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting. You were just beside yourself. Were you able to ask all the questions, or were you just...
No, I pulled it together. I usually have a list of questions ahead of time, so I pulled it together. But yeah, so I'm connected with Dona. I think since I'm not actively participating in births, I did let that certification drop. But yeah, still very strong in the Lamaze world.
Awesome. I was wondering, is there anything that we haven't touched on that we want to touch on before we jump into the lightning round? No wrong answers. Emily, do you have any other burning questions?
No, I'm ready for a slow lightning round per our usual.
It's not a fast lightning round, Deb, just full disclosure.
Okay.
Well, if we're ready, let's do it. Deb, besides this podcast, obviously, do you have another favorite podcast that you would like to plug? One or two, maybe? Doesn't have to be perinatal mental health or perinatal anything related. It could be.
Could it be my own? Can I do it?
You can totally do your own. Half the people are into murder podcasts, which scare the heck out of me, but that's just not about me. So
for those out there listening to Yoga Birth Babies, okay, but I listen to The Daily. I'm such an NPR nerd. So I listen to The Daily. I check all those out, like Fresh Air, Pop Culture Happy Hour. Like, yes. I go through that. And then if I'm watching a show that has a podcast, like, I was super into The Gilded Age. So I would listen to like the follow-up podcast from that. So
like they'd watch an episode and then discuss?
Yeah, but there was like, they called it like the official HBO podcast. So they actually had like the actors and the directors and like costume designers. So
I love that.
I love behind the scene things. But yeah, also like, there was a new podcast, The Retrievals. That was really interesting as well. That was about egg retrieval and like C-sections.
I
just gave you like 10.
Yeah, these show notes are going to be
lit.
Yeah, as it were. Like, holy cow. Great suggestions. The Retrievals.
Okay, are you binge watching anything that I should add to my like queue?
Or listening to? Some people are like avid book listeners.
Like, what happens when I finish Discovery Witches, which was also recommended on this pod? What do I do next?
All right, so my husband laughs at me for this because I binge. Like, if I'm going to watch something, I will not go to bed. So I really make myself not do that too often because I know my habits.
You're like, I'm not sleeping tonight.
Well, I kind of recycle certain things. Like I'll watch things over and over. So I just did go on a binge of, this is going to make me sound like such an idiot. Like,
no, not an idiot.
The Great British Bake Show.
That's so good.
It's wholesome.
First of all, you feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Who doesn't like snacks?
Yeah. Also, great snack suggestions. Third, people are really kind to each other on that show.
They're so nice.
I need that. Like, whether it's on social media or on TV, I need something where I'm witnessing people be like kind to each other.
And I also think Noel Fielding's is hilarious. And I was a goth in high school, so I find him kind of sexy. So that's another topic.
Hey.
Interesting.
What's said here stays here. Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. And then I've watched Ted Lasso like too many times, but like that's also another my feel good. So I'm not letting myself, like everyone's like, oh, you gotta watch Hacks. Like there's so many things I want to watch, but like even if I'm reading a book, I want to like step. Even if I have like 200 more pages, I have to like pull myself away from it. So
that's a healthy boundary. You are saving yourself from yourself. It's okay. You know yourself.
I'm going to make a recommendation to you. The Great Pottery Throwdown is like pottery making version of Great British Baking Show.
Oh, I would like that.
No snack suggestions though. So if that's a deal breaker.
Lots of glazes though.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Okay. Deb, do you have any like great parenting hacks you'd like to share with us?
This could be for young kids or old kids.
Not every hack works on every kid, but what's working for you right now?
All right. So one of the hacks that I do, and it's going to sound just so basic, is that when I'm getting really irritated and frustrated, I will just take a few moments and walk away and not immediately answer them because I will probably snap at them or yell at them. So it's like I give myself a little timeout. And I've also learned that I don't have to answer them immediately if I'm like in the bathroom. They could be yelling. I'm like, I'm taking a minute for myself. I can figure things out.
As long as this house is not on fire, I think everybody's going to be okay.
Yeah. So this is not my easiest because I tend to be very reactive, but trying not to be reactive has been very helpful. So like just taking a beat and taking a breath.
Do you announce?
That was my next question. How do you tell them that you're putting yourself in timeout?
Do you just walk away silently or?
Sometimes I walk away and sometimes I say, I need a minute.
That's good.
Yeah, I need a minute.
Because that's a cue for your kids. Like, oh, yeah, she definitely needs a minute. Okay, I need to back off.
Like it's advantageous for him or her to give you, for them to give you that minute.
Also, it's good for you to say that out loud and confirm for yourself, oh, right, I really do need a minute right now instead of not saying anything. And yeah, it just helps you recognize what's going on for you.
Yeah, so that just helps me de-escalate because if I'm really getting fiery and worked up, it's not going to go well, especially if I get too far, like especially if like someone wakes me up or something like.
Then you're like, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Just me? I don't know.
No. Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Okay. All right. What is one way that you are going to show yourself some radical love today? This is like more than self-care.
I mean, I think everything we can do for ourselves is radical because we don't always spend the time on ourselves. So,
yes.
I don't know. Maybe this is self-care, but I pretty much tell them after. It used to be 8:30, but now it's 9 because they're just getting older and require more. But I'm like, I am getting in bed. I will talk to you from bed and I'm going to usually be reading or watching something. And so that is my way of taking care of myself. I will have them play cards with me. Sometimes my kids love playing cards and I'm like, we will do it from my bed. And so I just set that boundary of like, I'm not getting out of bed. If I do, it's because I want to, not because I need to do something for you. So that is my way of showing love for myself, of setting that boundary.
You're also sort of, it's like a ritual. You've built in like, this is what I do before going to bed.
Yeah.
Do you sleep well? I need to try this. Like,
do I sleep well? I fall asleep really well, but I do tend to wake up at like 3:30ish and then I eventually fall back asleep.
Why do our bodies do this?
Because we're getting older. At least I'll speak for myself.
I know. I wake up like drenched in sweat now and I'm like,
yeah,
this is my life.
It's just rude. I probably need to like do some like hormone replacement shenanigans.
That's another conversation we can have. But yeah, I'll do sometimes meditations at night if I wake up to fall back asleep. But then I wake up at a very odd time, 5:18.
Like you have an alarm set for that?
I do, because I like to exercise in the morning.
Oh.
So I have like a little ritual of coming downstairs, making coffee, and then going down to exercise. So that's my little thing.
That is cool.
Okay, operating outside of our lightning round, this is how it always ends up so long. But I want to know, like, what is the 1 to 2 minute explanation of that I've woken up in the middle of the night meditation that you do? Like, what do you walk yourself through? Put this tool in everyone's toolbox, you know?
So it's funny. It's actually what I teach in prenatal yoga. I do something called progressive relaxation.
Oh,
I call it the talk through because you're basically talking them through. And I do that in the beginning of every single class because I think repetition helps people. And if they hear in every class, I've had so many students be like, I heard your voice in my head and I talked through my body to relax in the contraction. I'm like, score. But but if I don't focus down through my body, my head is spinning. So I literally am like, inhale, exhale, relax the crown of your head. Relax your forehead, relax your eyes, like give the weight of your head to your pillow, relax your jaw. So I'm like going through and itemizing because if I'm focusing on my body, my brain's not going to have a place to spin. Because when I wake up in the middle of the night, my brain is spinning. I have so many thoughts and I need to stop that. So that's where I do a little talk through and it usually works. And if it doesn't, then I have an album. It's kind of like droney sounding and I'll just listen to that with the talk through. That droney tends to put me back to sleep.
Do you do like an inhale and then an exhale and then you move on to the next spot? Yeah, same.
And it's the exhale of like really relaxing down.
I'm going to try that next time. I woke up at 2:30 this morning.
Ugh.
And then I was awake for a while. It's okay. Now I have hot tips from Deb.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm going to be fine now. Hey, Emily, do you want to ask Deb about a time machine real quick?
Oh my gosh. Okay. First of all, do you like time travel?
Follow up.
I need more information.
If you were going to hop into a time machine, I am going to be a little bit strangely prescriptive this time. Okay. You are brand newly postpartum and you feel like your body is wrecked. You has jumped into a time machine and gone back. What are you going to tell that version of you that you need to hear in that moment?
Oh, okay. Chill out and don't overdo it because I did. I was like the worst postpartum person in the sense that what I would tell my students of like, oh, you really need to heal. You need to give your body a chance to heal. I did not do that. So if I could have told my postpartum body, all right, give yourself time to heal. Don't try to start exercising again. You'll be okay. I had a really hard time not moving. And I'm not just talking like walks. Like I was already back at the gym like 10 days later, which is ridiculous because I would tell anyone not to do that. So I would tell myself, don't do that.
And then you're like, how did I get on this treadmill? I'm like rowing. How did I get here?
Why are there weights in my arms? Yeah. So I would tell myself not to do it and that time actually will heal more than me trying to push myself.
Yes.
I feel that. Yeah, I think a lot of folks are just in a hurry to get like out of that discomfort postpartum. And that's a great thing to say to yourself. Okay, this is a very important question, Deb.
Okay.
Emily and I are a couple moms and we need to like check on all of our people here and make sure that they're hydrated. How do you take your water? Are you like team bubbles, no bubbles, ice? Are you flavors? Okay. Oh, snazzy. Okay, so Deb's got this like yellow Stanley. We are not sponsored at all.
I've got a stainless steel straw.
Okay.
I literally have 3 different mugs near me. Like I've got my tea, I've got my half decaf coffee, and I've got my huge Stanley. Because I find if I don't have a straw, I don't actually drink as much water.
I think that's true for me too.
Yep.
Is it because it's more fun?
It's easier. Like
It's easier.
my husband thinks it's insane. He's like, seriously, it's harder to like tip it? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I think it is. There's something about I don't drink as much.
And you're like, well, but I'm not going to use a plastic straw and kill all the sea turtles.
Stainless steel.
Stainless steel.
Okay, but what's in your cup though? Is it like
Room temperature.
room temperature water? You know what?
Have you studied Ayurveda?
I actually did.
Yeah.
Actually, you're never going to believe it. I did.
Actually, yes.
It's much easier for your body to process, right?
Yeah. My kids are obsessed with ice water, but
Same. I don't care. Put ice in it. I need it.
like we've had to put like their names on their own ice trays. They're like obsessed with not getting from each other's ice tray, but like
Don't touch my ice.
don't touch my ice. Oh, you used all your ice and now you're using my ice. Like, so we've had to put names on ice trays, which is a new level of insanity. So
You're like, this is my life. Who knew?
You're like, I need to buy an ice machine is basically where we're at.
yeah.
Okay, are you a Vata, a Pitta, or a Kapha? I want to get, this is way better than,
Oh, me? What do you think?
Emily, what is that?
I will probably have a harder time explaining this than Deb because I have not studied it. But you basically have one of 3 types. So Vata is
more like airy. Yeah.
Pitta is fire.
Mm-hmm.
And Kapha is
earthy.
Yes. Okay. And so there are like characteristics of your body, like your skin is oily or your skin is dry or your skin is combination or
body types even. Like Kapha is maybe a little bit more earthy. And the people that I know that have been Vata tend to be very narrow and kind of willowy. And Pitta is kind of fiery. And so I haven't studied in a while. Back when I studied with this person, Shiva Ray, she was super into Ayurveda. And when I went to India with her, we went to an Ayurvedic center. So I did a little study of it there. So it's been many, many, many years. But yeah, you're right from what I remember. And then, so I would say for me, when I've done like the Ayurvedic tests, I am rather Pitta. I'm kind of that fiery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which didn't really surprise me.
Like, I don't say.
But do you like spicy food?
Yes and no, certain spice, but I also can have some like digestion issues, so.
I'm like, I'm a Pitta, but don't take away my spicy food. Like, that's offensive.
Yeah. And then like, was it Kapha or Pitta is like, also can be very mucousy, like allergies and stuff. So.
Oh.
Kapha, I think.
I have allergies.
Also, you have oily skin.
Me?
You might be a Kapha.
I do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well.
Oilier than mine, and I'm a Pitta, so I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm diagnosing people with not an illness right now.
I don't know.
It's like a state of being. It's like Myers-Briggs of your sort of body and disposition and how you are in the world.
Yes, that's a great way of describing it.
I'll take a quiz online, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Deb, if anything resonated with folks today, we covered a lot.
We did.
And they might be interested in connecting with you. How could they do that?
They can find me everywhere. Everywhere. PrenatalYogaCenter.com is the website. All of our social media is Prenatal Yoga Center. The podcast is Yoga Birth Babies. But really, everyone can find me on our website. Yeah, you can reach me from there. I actually really love hearing from people, questions, or sometimes people have ideas for the podcast, whatever. So yeah. PrenatalYogaCenter.com.
Awesome. We will put a link to that in the show notes so people can find you. The studio is, remind everybody, where in New York City?
We are on the Upper West Side in New York City, and we have online classes. So people can find us anytime online. I think we offer online classes every single day, 7 days a week.
That's so cool. So you don't actually need to be in the city.
No, it's kind of fantastic. We just finished teacher training, and we had a student from South Korea and another one from Dubai.
Wow.
I know. Seriously, commitment.
The time change. Oh, my God.
I know.
They're like, hello, from the middle of the night. Wow.
Kind of. We did have one woman who did it from Australia, but I was like, it's in the middle of the night for you. She's like, it is.
Like, hello, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Time travel is real.
Yeah. Time travel is real. So people can find us anytime, anywhere.
Okay, great. We'll put links to that in the show notes so people can find you and reach out to you. Stop by and say hey.
I'd love that.
Tell them Danny and Emily sent you. Emily, would you like to take us out?
I would love to. Deb, this was wonderful. Yoga has been such an important part of my life since I was in high school, and I've sort of gone back in and out over and over again. And I think your commitment to being embodied and helping other people be embodied throughout this change, this like epic change that we go through to become parents is such a gift. So thank you for coming to talk about it.
Thank you. I really had fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to the I Am One podcast. Check out today's show notes where we'll drop links to all the important things that we mentioned in this episode. Please consider sharing about I Am One on social media and following and rating our show wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. It only takes a minute of your time and, well, that'll help our collective mission of bringing resources and local support to folks worldwide. From everyone here at PSI, thanks again for listening.